Welcome everyone back to EMAS Sports and the Beyond the Bases podcast. Today's episode is a recap of the Lowell Angels 2025 season. We have Brock Riley, the reigning Cy Young and actually current Cy Young of the 28 plus division, and his teammate Daniel Iardi. So welcome Dan and Brock.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for having us as always.
yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you guys have had a busy season. It seems like, and a crazy ending to your season as well. So we're gonna get right into it because this is gonna be a lot of fun. So in your last game of the season, Brock, you pitched 11 plus innings, but fell 3-2 to the Somerville Senators, who ended up winning the entire thing thanks to a walk-off single by Mike Smith. What do you remember about this game? To both of you, this question is, what do you guys remember about this game? And how you felt about losing it despite such a crazy ending to the game and just a great pitching performance by both you and Brock and Mike as well.
Yeah, what I remember from that game, it was just such a hard fought battle. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. I mean, probably two of the better teams in the league, if not the two best teams in the league. For this year, obviously, there's a ton of really good teams in the league. There's a lot of good ones, but this year, two teams that, just were filled with talent, just going neck and neck right through extra innings. Doesn't really get much better than that. But sometimes you just fall a little bit short. So unfortunately, almost doesn't count. The Senators beat us, and they deserved it. It was very well deserved. They're an extremely good team, full of great guys. I was happy for them, but it was definitely a tough way to walk off the field.
I've never seen someone throw 11 plus innings, so watching Brock's performance was pretty wild. And then the Senators had, Mike Smith was great, and I'm not sure the closer's name, but he was phenomenal too. So I felt like the game was never going to end. And, we made some really great defensive plays, and then did make some really great defensive plays, and then all three pitchers ended up just dealing for 12 innings or whatever. So this is an exciting game to be a part of because I haven't been a part of that long of a game. So bummer to not come out with the W on that one, but it was just a really good game.
Yeah, and
By the
shout
way,
out to Mike Smith and their other pitcher as well. Like Dana said, I don't remember his exact name, but he did a great job as well right after Mike. They both did phenomenal, and they both did their job, and they got it done. And it was a great performance by the Senators, and Mike Smith was very clutch, and he's a great guy too. He's awesome. He always talks to us after the game, and he's a very respectful, cool guy. So always good to see good dudes. Good things happen to good dudes.
so obviously Brock, you won the Cy Young. I'll let you give your acceptance speech, and Dan, if you have any thoughts on his the fact that he won the Cy Young, the
I got
floor
a
is
whole bunch
yours
of
right
spots.
after that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing I have to say is that it's an honor to win that again. It's an award that's given to you by, your peers. People from around the league vote for it, so definitely just want to thank all the teams that we play against. I really appreciate it. Thanks for welcoming me into the league last year. Everyone around the league has been super kind and so fun to play against. Huge shout out to my teammates as well. They're the ones who do the real work behind me. I mean, I'm just the guy throwing the ball. You don't really win the Cy Young Award if no one's making plays behind you. So, shout out to Dano and every single guy behind me. Of course, I can't name every name on the roster right now, but shout out to my team. They're the real reason that you win a Cy Young Award. It's not because of me, it's because of the guys behind me. And, it helps too when those guys are hitting and scoring more runs than the other team. I know that sounds obvious, but it's easy to get wins when the guys next to you keep scoring more than the other team. So they make me look good every single day. It's not just me at all. It's those guys.
I don't know if Dan, you had any
Yeah,
additional
no,
thoughts.
yeah, no. The league is really talented. There's a bunch of really good pitchers, but Brock's always the first one, even though when he's given an honor like that to just dish it right back to the team. So great teammate, obviously a phenomenal talent. Pounds his zone, really effective, like multiple pitches that he throws for strikeouts, and then he'll go up and hit a triple. So Brock, he's a ball player. You love to have Brock on your team. I'd hate to play against him. So it's I'm happy to be a part of his success, just being able to play second base. So it's fun watching him play. But he's a better teammate and an even better person. So happy for you, Brock. Congrats on
Yeah.
the.
Thanks, Dano. I appreciate it. Yeah, having you back there is like having Dustin Pedroia behind me. It's like anytime the ball gets hit to Dano, I'm like, yep, that's a wrap. He makes all the play. I mean, him and X and Johnny and Jimmy. I mean, they're so great. I mean, they make all the plays behind me. So, even when I let up a barrel and somebody absolutely mashes a ball, even if it's a really hard, infield hit, they might still hit it pretty damn hard. But Dano and those guys, they always find a way to make the play. You got X flying around, making crazy throws. So definitely just want to reiterate my shout out to my team. They make plays that I could never go out there and make ever.
Well, I mean, obviously pitching's important, but if we want to just turn it to the offense for a second, you had 10 different players drive in runs during the postseason. So what does that do to your confidence on the mound? And, again, for your offense as well, to just have such a well-balanced lineup, and be able to, be as successful as you were, even if the season didn't end the way you guys wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the mound and you have a lineup like we had, definitely relaxes you a little bit. Um, you try to be able to pitch through any situation, no matter what the score is, or no matter what the pressure of the situation is. But when you feel like you're playing from ahead a lot, not gonna lie, it relaxes you a bit. You go out there, knowing that you do have some room for error out there. Obviously, not that you're trying to do that, but it does mentally relax you when you go out there and you know that you do have that, that margin for error, and that, if you let up a single, it's not going to be this tense situation or anything. So as a pitcher, it definitely helps, relax you, which, boosts your confidence. Then the other team's kind of, out there being swing happy. So you start getting some different swings. It gets a little bit easier to, just pitch around certain lineups. So, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and we got a couple of good pitchers. I mean, Brock's phenomenal too. We got, Johnny, Nick Godfrey, and you can go down the list. We've got a bunch of them. So I think as an offense, since you have a good pitching staff, it's like you're excited to get involved, and you only need a handful of runs to maybe win a game. So you're really excited to just like try and get on base, get over, and get in. So we got a bunch of guys that can do it, and everyone is just like chomping at the bit to do their part.
Yeah, and you guys had 177 runs scored this season, which you were ranked third in both the regular season and postseason as well. So I'm sure that doesn't surprise either of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we have a bunch of different nine batter looks that we have as a lineup, and we produce. I mean, it would have been nice to get a little bit more runs there in that last game for Brock, but in general, we do. I think our lineup is pretty solid right to the bottom. So
Yeah, yeah, we got a lot of grinders out there in our lineup, guys who just, get on base and Dano being the captain of that offense for sure. I mean, every time he gets on base, just stealing bases all over the place. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can know he's going and you're still not going to get him. So, he doesn't get caught that many times. And when he does, we just tip our cap over to them because it's like, hey, you have to make a damn good throw to get him out. So, he definitely leads off that offense, constantly getting on base, constantly swiping bags, being smart on the base paths, never really making any base running mistakes. That sets the tone because then the guys who get up after him are like, hey, we got some guys on base, or hey, we already scored a run or two because of Dano. So it takes the pressure off the guys behind him for sure.
And Dano, the next one's for you specifically, but you had 11 hits and had a 478 batting average in the postseason, both leading the Angels. So describe your approach at the plate, and why that's so important to your team and for yourself as well.
yeah, I'm not sure how many games that is. It's a smaller sample size, but I think I got hot at the right time. And I also, of those 11 hits, I mean, a handful of them just kind of fell in there. But I did feel good at the plate. I felt confident. I don't think I had all that many strikeouts. I just felt like I was putting the ball in play and just trying to put it on the line somewhere. I wasn't getting too greedy. And I didn't know if I got on and maybe stole or not. I got some pretty good hitters behind me. So I just wanted to get on for them and I'll get in because they'll hit the ball. So I just had a really like selfless approach, just trying to hit the ball somewhere on the line, don't do too much, and felt good.
All right, and then obviously the Senators ended up winning the entire tournament, or the entire 20 plus division this year. Their second championship in franchise history, first one I think since 2003. So what was your reaction to that. Obviously, you guys ended up falling to them, but were you guys watching that at all on the live stream, or yeah, just your reaction to them winning, and anyone you want to shout out? I mean, obviously we've talked about Mike Smith, but they have a lot of great players on their team as well. So if you guys want to shout anybody out, either that you know personally or that you were impressed by, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I was pretty happy, for their coach Raz. I made sure I sent Raz a message right after and said congrats, well deserved. Evan Valcourt, great guy, great player. So I made sure I texted my buddies that, are over there on the Senators. They have some really good guys that, have always been so respectful and kind to me. So I wanted to make sure that, I said congrats to them as well, the same way they always do to me. I thought that was a great series. I thought the Expos did a great job. They fought right to the end. I mean, they made every game difficult for the Senators. I mean, nobody made it easy for the Senators. We didn't. The Expos didn't. So the Senators, they really earned that. I mean, they really, really earned that. Those were all difficult games, multiple games that went past, 10 innings. It was pretty crazy. So they had to really scrap that one out. So that was a well-deserved victory for the Senators.
Yeah, I'm bad at names, but that shortstop too, from our couple games with them, he was really good. Good
Yeah.
person too. And I mean, he hit in some pretty tough spot. So I never met him before. I'm not sure if this is his first year in the league, but shout out to that shortstop. Played a heck of a series against us. And unfortunately, I didn't watch any of the games after that. But I did hear Mike Smith once again had another walk off in one of the other games, and heard he did pretty well. So congrats to the Senators and him.
And then obviously the Expos, even though they fell to them, I mean, to be in the championship series, I believe in their second year of existence in the 20 plus division. If you guys have anybody from the Expos that you want to shout out, I'll let you do that as well.
Yeah, I thought they did a nice job. I mean, they definitely took the fight right to the Senators, and like I said, they didn't make it easy for them. The Senators were, they were a team that was pretty hot this year. I knew that they were going to make a deep playoff push. Every time we played them, they gave us a hard time because they were so good. So to be able to, bring it to the Senators like that in a championship series is impressive. So, shout out to the Expos. Great job with that.
Yeah, what seed were they going into that? Like seven or
I
something?
believe they were the seventh. I'll have to look that up. But I
Yeah, and
believe
it's
they
a
were
little
seventh.
Cinderella story for them. So
Yeah, no, I mean it's amazing, and like I said, it just proves anything can happen in a year. That
yeah,
you get hot at the end of the season. I mean, you guys are a perfect example of that last year.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
don't remember what seed you were. You
I
have to
think they
remind
had the
me.
same games too, right? It was Senators. Didn't they get the Bombers too?
Yeah, I'll
Um,
have to look that up.
Not sure. I know last year we were a 5 seed and we had to play the Senators in the first round, and then we played the Bombers and the Spinners.
And the Spinners. I think they went Spinners, Bombers, Senators.
Yeah, so kind of our reverse path, and
Yeah,
somehow I don't know how we went 7-0 last year in the playoffs. That was
yeah.
crazy. I don't know if that will happen again.
No, that was
That was
fun.
kind of yeah, that was kind of nuts. I'm not sure if we'll see that again, but if we do, I'll be the first to go out there and congratulate them. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, every season is different. I'm assuming you always have new challenges, and so I don't know how, as a team with your leadership and just all the talent that you guys have, how do you guys approach that each season?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was like, we got a couple of leaders and people leading a little bit differently. I mean, honestly, quick shout out to Mark for putting it all together. Mark found all these different guys in all these different ways, friends of friends or this or that, and put together a really good group. And I haven't had this much fun playing baseball in I don't know how long. And I think a lot of guys are kind of feeling the same way. It's just, I mean, we really enjoy just going to the field, even if it's a regular season game against whoever or the playoffs. We just enjoy playing baseball with this group of people. So we'll start there. And then you have, pitching leaders, like Brock. And then you have like X, a shortstop that's just wicked gritty. He, lays it all out there. And we kind of follow. I think everyone just kind of leads by example. And then there are a handful of guys here that at different moments, speak up. And it's pretty balanced. But I would, yeah, I think it's Mark and Brock, X, Nick Godfroy, Johnny. There's that group of guys right there that just kind of lay it out for us, and we it's a pleasure to play with them.
Yeah, I think Dano said it perfectly. There's really no just one guy, and that's what makes our team great. Everyone, we just have so many guys that can lead and lead in different ways, lead by example. It's really cool to see because sometimes on teams you'll maybe just have one guy who's vocal, or maybe two guys that act like they care and stuff like that. On our team, we have a bunch of guys that are true leaders, with proven track records and really care about each other. Because leading doesn't only mean, yelling at guys or doing this or the other thing. And it doesn't only mean leading by example either. You gotta really care about each other. You gotta, be invested in your teammates' success. You gotta care about how they're doing on and off the fields. We have a lot of guys that do that. We're all genuinely friends, on and off the field. So that's really cool, and that carries over right in between the white lines. I mean, when we're out there, we have each other's backs. We have really high team chemistry. We all listen to each other. I mean, if I'm doing something wrong on the field, or if there's an adjustment I need to make that I'm not saying, I'm as open to feedback as anybody. X or Dano or even Nick in center field will come over to me on the bench and say, "Hey, you're tipping this off, or this guy is doing this," or we help each other out, and no one's too good to get that feedback or anything like that from another guy, and that's what makes our team good. Everybody can talk to each other and have input. And like Dano said too, shout out to Mark. Mark does a great job managing our team. He pours his heart and his soul into this team, and he does a fantastic job, managing this team and making sure everyone's having a good time. So I think a lot of us wouldn't even be playing if it wasn't for Mark. So huge shout out to Mark always.
Okay, and then what does the future of your team or just you guys as well look like? How do you guys want to keep playing as long as possible, or um, maybe you don't have the answer to that yet? But
Brock will
I just want to
somehow
know what
be
that
better
looks
when he's
like.
40. I'm telling you. Brock does give it time. No, we're good for like a decade. I think this team is set. We got a good group of guys that were gotten close. Actually, I didn't know almost anyone on this team personally, and I've gotten close to a bunch of guys who go to a bunch of tournaments together. It's a great team. I think we'll be here for a long time. I think we'll just get better, actually.
Yeah, well said. I think we'll be together for a pretty long time. Luckily, baseball is not like football where you can only play for a short amount of time. Baseball is a sport where, it's pretty normal for a lot of guys to get even better as they enter their 30s and mid 30s and things like that. I mean, look at guys like, Mike Smith, who's a little older. You have Teddy Zubia, who also plays in the 38s. I mean, that guy's as good as ever. So it's actually very encouraging when you look around and you see guys like that still performing at a high level because it lets you know, like, hey, that's still possible if you're willing to put the work in and practice and take care of your body and still have that love for the game. So I love seeing how well those guys do. It makes me want to continue playing for a long time. So I'm going to keep playing until the wheels fall off. Someone's going to have to come out there and rip the jersey off my back. So I'll be in my 70s still out there trying to pitch. Even if I suck, I'll still be out there.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah.
So outside of your team and division, because we have talked about the 20 plus division so far, but outside of that division or outside of your team, who's had the most impressive season that you've seen? If you were watching any of the other games or know any other players from other teams, and why?
Yeah. I mean, to go back to a name I mentioned a moment ago, Teddy Zubia. I mean, he won MVP for the 38s and for the 28s. I mean, I know he's technically in my division, but he's also not in our division too. He just does a great job. So he won multiple MVPs this year. Like I mentioned, it's really cool to see a good guy like that, doing good things and still playing at a high level and genuinely enjoying the game. I've had plenty of chances to talk to him on the side and get to know him a bit. And he's a great guy, and he's always very nice and respectful to our team. And it's nice to see him still playing at that level. That's awesome. And I know guys like Tyler Ferdinand on the Bombers as well. I know he won Manager of the Year in the 18s as well. And he's a menace on the base paths. He's fast. He's constantly getting on base. So those are two guys that have gotten to get to know a little bit on the side. And they're two good guys. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too good at names of the other divisions, but I think Nick Powers on the 18 plus had a great year. I think did he set the record for strikeouts? Am I wrong? I thought I saw somewhere. I knew he was
I'm
throwing
not
like in the
sure.
90s and he was looking good. So,
You guys played quite a few games at Lowell Park in Lowell this year. So what should fans expect for 2026 and beyond, if you guys have that answer, for games played there or just other things going on with your team and the city of Lowell?
I think that's still to be determined. Yeah, I don't think we have any like permits set in stone yet or anything like that for next year. I mean, I think we have ideas that we want to be able to play some games there next year and maybe return to our our old stomping grounds at Alumni, which is the Lowell High field. That's where I grew up playing. I went to Lowell High, so it's always fun to get to play on that field again. But yeah, as of right now, nothing is set in stone. But yeah, we're not sure. So I think we gotta kind of wait for spring to come to figure some of those things out.
The formula to returning back to championship form.
yeah, I think well, staying healthy in the off season, and that's a big one. Getting in the gym and getting the body right because everyone will age one more year, right? So come back with a little bit more pep in your step because I think a lot of us were beat up at the end of the year. I know I was personally, and there was a group. I mean, Brock was. There's everyone. It was a long year, and a lot of us played in a couple more leagues than just this one too. So Brock had 1,000 innings on him, and I mean, all of us, we were pretty beat up by the end, and I think resetting all that, coming back with a good attitude, I think we'll be just fine. We got the talent. Maybe adding an arm would be good, just so we don't stress out the main guys that we usually use. That would be a nice add. Uh, Other than that, I think it's just rinse and repeat. Bummed that we lost this year, but I don't think it was necessarily any sort of issue with the talent. So run it back next year.
Yeah, yeah, I echo the same thing. That's what I was gonna say was, staying healthy and getting stronger in the off season. We have a lot of guys that hit the gym plenty and take good care of their bodies and keep themselves in good shape. So that's always nice to see. So that's something that we just need to continue doing. Yeah, some of us were pretty beat up there at the end, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about that when you're playing a ton of baseball. I mean, I think I had like 130 innings on my arm, maybe more than that throughout the entire season. The Boston Metro League is not the only league I play in, far from it. So I had a lot of innings on my arm. I was feeling pretty beat up. In some of those playoff games, I mean, I could hardly, swing the bat once you get into innings, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're getting up there pretty tired. You're sore from a game you played the night before and the night before that and the night before that. So, it definitely starts to add up. Um, but yeah, I think if everyone just stays healthy, gets stronger, and I think if we add maybe another arm or two and maybe another bat or two, I think that would be the formula for us to have some success because we have a great team, a lot of good players. I mean, we have bats like Alex Strempel and Dano and all these different guys, X, Nick Godfrey. A lot of good bats, but I feel like we're just missing maybe one or two more bats that can just kind of get us over the edge. I mean, that was the difference between us making it to the championship and not making it was just, someone that could just push us over the edge and just get us that one more run. So I think if we can just add another bat or two and maybe another arm or two, and then have our main core show up healthy, I think that, we have our best guys out there. We're one of the best teams in the league. And I think our track record proves it.
All right, I'll add one last little fun question in here, just for the sake of having a little bit of fun. If you had to add a player, MLB, current MLB or former MLB player to your team, who would it be and why?
Um, that's a really good question. Um, so from my days in college, like playing in the Cape Cod League and different summer leagues and stuff like that, I've been super fortunate to have a good amount of my former teammates and some of my buddies that do currently play in the big leagues. So I would probably choose some of my friends to come join us. My friend is Spencer Torkelson, the starting first baseman for the Tigers. I played with him in Chatham. Um, who else? Played with Michael Bush, Alec Manoa. I coached Harry Ford on the Mariners with Team Great Britain 2 years ago. So definitely a good amount of guys that we could draw from there. But if I had to pick one, in the spirit of the question, probably Spencer, because I've never seen someone who has just such effortless power, like he does, and he's a great dude too.
I don't have that kind of like cast for friends. So I'm a homer. Mine's gonna be one of the three: Manny, David, Ortiz, or Pedro, and I'm picking Ortiz. Give me Big Poppy all day long. Phenomenal talent, great teammate. Give me Poppy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's never a
And
bad
there's your bat,
answer.
bro.
That's not a bad answer. I mean, who
yeah,
wouldn't want Big Poppy in their lineup
Yeah,
if you could do a fantasy draft and add
yeah,
one player just for fun? But
yeah.
yeah.
that's not the reality we live in. But anyways,
Well, Whitney,
okay.
who would you add if you had to pick someone for the Angels lineup?
I mean, David Ortiz, honestly, why not? In his prime, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you could go and take a time machine and pull him, anyways. Um,
with
I
Xavier
mean,
Nunez, we already kind of have that, but I mean, we can. There's room for two poppies.
yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways, I love asking that question to every player that I've interviewed. So I figured I'd make sure I ask you guys too. And I'll ask Mike Smith that too. I wonder what his answer will be when I interview. Hopefully him. I think end up being my next guest. So yeah, I'm gonna ask that to everybody, and I'm sure there'll be a variety of answers. So
yeah.
um, all right, and then final question: are there any tournaments or special events coming up this fall or winter or beyond that? That you guys are both a part of. For example, the 100 innings game. Um, and what can people expect for that kind of event, or just you guys moving forward?
I'm playing a softball tournament in a couple weeks. Um, other than that, though, yeah, we're playing in the Field of Screams tournament. That will be happening for clutch hitting. So I believe that is in 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll be playing in that. Um, and then in the spring, I believe there's a tournament that's happening down in Florida. I'm not positive, who's going or who's not. I'm not sure if I'm definitely in or out for it. Got to find out some more details, but I know that it exists. I know that we're looking at it. And then after that, we'll have our season will come back around. Yeah, probably the Boston WBC again as well. So probably those couple of things to look out for. So yeah, we'll be plenty busy this off season.
Dan, I don't know if you had any additional things that you were doing or anything you want to plug.
No, no, I think that's it. Field of Screens will be fun. I've never done that, so I'm excited to do
Mhm.
that. I think we're playing our Mill City, our other team right away, so that'll be a fun match right away. So that's cool. And then yeah, a lot of recovery in the off season. And then the World Baseball Classic was my favorite. That was the first time I met anyone on these teams. So I love that
Mhm.
tournament. A lot of fun. So already excited for that one.
Yeah, it's a good tournament. Yeah, that one's always a good time. A lot of good guys playing that one.
Yeah.